Xavier, congratulations, Big Brother 23 winner. Can you put into words what it means to be the first Black winner in Big Brother history?
It feels incredible. I set out with a goal to do whatever I could to help crown the first Black winner in BBUS history and to be that representative not only for Big Brother but the entire Black community is it's a huge honor, and I just hope I can make everyone proud.
Mm. How confident were you that you were going to win?
Um, I was hopeful. I had a game plan in mind, and I felt like if I stuck to that game plan, it could lead me very far in the game. And fortunately enough, it did. So I was confident, but never overly confident, just because I mean the slogan for Big Brother is expect the unexpected. So you never know what's going to come your way.
Mhm. I love when you answered the last question in part three and you were just like, you knew it, like that you nailed it.
I was confident. I knew. I mean, Azah definitely gave me a run for my money. So I knew as long as I answered every single question correctly, then I could win. And part three, I felt like I knew what the right answer was, and it was correct. So I felt good. And
Mhm.
yeah, definitely felt like my brother was with me in that final competition. So it was huge.
Yeah. Well, it was unanimous 9-0. And a lot of us fans were not sure if Kyland would vote for you after last week. So were you concerned at all about if you were going to vote for you?
A little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I think there were two votes. I knew sitting either next to Big D or Azah, Brittany was gonna be a vote, just because Brittany she was a joker with them, so I wasn't sure if Brittany was gonna vote for either of them. And then the situation with Kylan, I was nervous on whether or not how he would feel, but he voted for me, and I think that speaks a lot to his character and who he is as a person. Obviously, we had a blow up, but him and I discussed that we're going to have a conversation, hopefully come to an understanding with that whole scenario. And, I have nothing but good things to say about him. He's a great man. Well, I wish him nothing but the best,
Hmm. Yeah.
sometimes
Well,
the game goes.
Evie, like his whole thing, and the crux of what he was saying and why he's just like you brought up your nephew was that you were taking the easy way out instead of facing the strongest competitor, him. So why do you think that was so important to him to in his mind to face a strong competitor when maybe you should just take the best route for you to win?
Kyland is a very strong competitor. He just has that competitive mentality. And I think that's why he wanted to kind of have people would joke about it in the season, but he wanted to have a Batman Superman kind of battle off in the final two. And while from a competitive standpoint, I actually would have really enjoyed that. I made a final two promise to Big D on day one. And if Kylan was around, it didn't give Big D and I the best shot to end up in those final two chairs. And so unfortunately, that's why he had to go.
Hmm. Well, after all the drama this week between Azah and Big D, did you ever think about taking Azah instead, especially after she told you she might take you?
Azah definitely deserves some consideration, because I think she played an amazing game, and in this game, she's never gone against me. So for me to not consider her, I felt like would have been disrespectful to the game that she's played. However, again, Big D was loyal to me throughout the game. We made a final two on day one. And I think at the end of the day, I kind of knew in my heart of hearts that I was going to stick to that deal. But to not even at least mull over the idea of bringing Azah just felt like it would be disrespectful to the game that she played.
Hmm. I really liked how you like I guess spoke to both of them while they were like going at it this week. Like you knew exactly what to say to each of them. So like what were you thinking as they were just arguing each other and then she tells you like, oh, I might take you because like he's being like a dick to me.
Truthfully, I was just like, Big D, keep talking. I don't know what you're doing, but every time you talk, it's making me look better and better. So I was like, you go ahead, Big D. I was trying to give him some advice. I told him the week prior, I was like, hey, there's such a thing as, talking too much game. I literally told him that. And then he just kept going. And I was like, okay, it's out of my hands. I'm just trying to win a competition. That's the best way to secure that we end up where we want to end up. But yeah, I was just kind of a sit back, eat some popcorn, and let whatever's going to happen happen.
Well, so for us watching, I think it became kind of clear like halfway through the season that you were probably winning, provided that you weren't up against someone like Tiffany. But like people were targeting Tiffany, no one was targeting you. And things also kind of fell into place for you. Like the cookout made final six, Tiffany was evicted. And obviously, like you said, expect unexpected. But how, like, I guess, like, did your confidence grow as like the season progressed? And did you think you had a pretty good shot at winning?
Yeah, my confidence definitely grew as the season progressed. As you know, even from the pre-jury stage, I felt like every week I either kind of knew what was going to happen or had a significant influence on what was going to happen every single week. So to continue to have week by week kind of work out how you want it to, or even when things, went a little off grid, to still kind of be able to adapt and still have it work out in your favor, I started to get more and more confident, not only in, the cookout's ability to make it to final six, but then my ability to properly position myself to end up in those final two chairs. And it worked out.
Mm-hmm. I feel like you were someone who really thrived being in the cookout, and some other members like kind of struggled, like Tiffany, like who couldn't play her individual game, but you were like really good at playing like mediator. Maybe it was the lawyer in you, and like diffusing fights and like keeping everyone on track. So did you feel that way too? Like you worked really well under this arrangement?
Yes, I think every single member of the cookout benefited from the cookout. I would be remiss to say that I would end up in those final two chairs if the cookout didn't exist. It's not to downplay the game. I think I played a very strong game, but the cookout was a large part of that game. And Tiffany said it, Kyland said it, and I've even said it at times. I do think we may have played different games without the cookout, but because of that vision that we had in mind, that goal, it was easy for me to kind of set aside any other type of gameplay strategy that I had and simply put the cookout first. And then once it got to final six, at that point, it's the individual big brother and may the best player win.
Mm-hmm. How would you have played had the cookout not existed?
I don't know that I would have I probably wouldn't have thrown as many competitions. May have won a couple more competitions, but I still probably would have saved that for at least a jury phase. I don't think winning a good chunk of competitions pre-jury is beneficial. I saw that with my boy Christian. So I probably still would have thrown competitions, but definitely wouldn't have thrown as many in the jury phase, just to kind of help maintain, the game going in the direction that I saw fit.
Mm-hmm. What were the ones that you threw?
It's quite a bit.
We definitely know the ones where you were like actually like going for it, because you won those in like 15 seconds.
I think the key ones that I threw were Whale of a Time. That was the wall competition, the famed wall competition, which I really wanted to win that one. But I knew for the cookout I couldn't win. And I knew with Derek X being the remaining person on the wall with myself, him winning would be very beneficial, not only to like my individual game, but the cookout and the Kings team as a whole, even though we would lose a member. And then another competition that I threw that I felt like was extremely beneficial was, I want to say Flying Bibinos. That's where Tiffany actually won her second HOH. If I had competed in that and Tiffany didn't win that second HOH, which I think Tiffany probably still could have beat me. She was vice grip on that rope. But then, she may not have rubbed some of the cookout members the wrong way, and she might have made it all the way to the end. And at that point, it probably would have been a toss-up between the two of us, or Tiffany would probably just win.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely found some benefits by throwing some competitions.
Yeah, for sure. Well, a lot of the house guests did not think you were a bartender because you went to bed at 10 and you didn't know certain cocktails. So did you think about that when you decided to tell them that was your job, that could have maybe given you away?
The not knowing certain cocktails, I wasn't really worried about that, just because everything I was telling them about the type of bartending that I do was legitimate. Where it was located wasn't, but I bartend for wedding venue, so we have a limited selection of drinks that we make. I'm not going to know every drink. It's just not the nature of what I do as a bartender. But the going to sleep at 10, I'm 27, but I'm basically like 36. Like I like to go
I feel you.
Yeah, and with other people, they're like, let's stay up till 2 a.m. I was just kind of like, why? Like if we're done,
no reason to go get your 8 hours.
Yeah, I was like, anything else that we want to talk about, we can just do that when I wake up in the morning. So I'm gonna go to sleep.
For sure. And lastly, what are you going to do with the money?
I want to set some money aside for my nephew to help me keep my promise to my brother that I would always, look out for my nephew, and going to pay off a little bit of student loan debt. That's something that's up on there, and then save some money, invest some money, and then hopefully use some money to help out my family and friends with, anything that they're struggling with financially. So like I said at the beginning of the season, it wasn't necessarily what the money could do for me. It was what I wanted the money to do for the people that I cared about. And now I'm in a position to do that. So that's what I plan to do.
Awesome. Well, congratulations again on making history. It was great speaking to you, and have a good one.
Thank you so much, Joyce.